we're here the day after the much anticipated, much speculated federal budget, which was announced last night.
Here we are. We survived.
We survived. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
By any means.
Not quite. No. So
what's your take? Let's unpack it.
I was thinking, I think it was as a lot of things there that didn't surprise us from our cereal box treasurer. Obviously, the talk leading up to it, speculation around negative gearing, capital gains tax, that's reigned true. I think the family trust structure was certainly one that took some by surprise, with obviously how that's going to be taxed and handled moving forward. The one thing that was in there, people have got time to address it and I guess get their affairs in order. I think from a resi space, more so affected than the commercial, obviously. So I think we will see those that are considering offloading, capitalising on their investment in probably that 3 to 5 year window. I do think that'll come forward. I don't believe there'll be that relief or assistance for 75,000 homeowners that Treasury refers to.
It'd be ambitious, that's for sure.
I think this budget in zero way will help that market, nor do I sort of have any belief in the increase of $2 a week in rent. I'm sorry, but if you make something more expensive, that cost is going to be passed on. So by making property ownership more expensive for investors, it's going to be passed on.
Yep.
Like, done. There's no if, buts or maybes in that space from where I sit. But I think largely the investors are still going to be out there and active.
Yep. Oh, look, I think holistically, it's not doom and gloom like everyone expected. I mean, we both had phone calls in the last few days around seeing some urgency around trying to transact and get contracts signed on property. It's not needed. Obviously, we've got some time there. That window of obviously lead time certainly is appealing. It's not as dramatic as everyone thought. I think the offshoot from the commercial side of the business is it's actually going to probably highlight commercial assets.
Absolutely.
Probably more as an advertising investment pool. Yeah. It's going to be driven by cash flow and return. Capital growth is certainly still of appeal, but you're not still missing out. You're having to pay some tax on the way through. But I think if anything, there's probably going to be, if there is that exit from residential property, it's going to flow into commercial, which is probably just going to congest that even further. So I can't see any real negative effects. Yeah. It might stimulate some with this, window of opportunity to divest without that increased capital gains, costs associated to bring some of the stuff to market. Like you said, it's going to be no different from a commercial, but I think the probably biggest thing is going to be, it's probably going to be an accountant's nightmare to some extent around navigating the restructuring of sort of entities and facilities which people hold property in. But that's obviously a conversation for our clients and their accountants. But look, holistically, it's certainly not the end of the world.
No.
There's nothing too surprising. It's probably quite favourable, some of the outcomes that actually were tabled last night. But look, I think it's still going to be business as usual. It's going to impact some, but not many. But let's see if the speculated outcomes that the government are hoping for actually come to fruition, which I think there's many doubting. But
many doubting. I think. I think we'll see a lot more pre-TY LTDs on contracts now as opposed to as trustees for under that structure change, and those that are currently investing have a property under contract. They've got some value with negative gearing grandfather into them. So
that's a fantastic news. Status quo continues. So look, obviously you're in a situation, it's there's a win there, but it's obviously strategically moving forward will change people's directions.
Correct, and I do feel that the resilience of the investor has been underestimated. I think they'll consume this. I don't believe there'll be that release of so many properties. And yes, some talk about new construction and that being built. That quote has actually come down from last budget, so it's really going in the wrong direction here. So curious to see whether they're right or those are us that are in the trenches are right with it. So
today, if you're looking for some advice on your particular situation from your property point of view, happy to reach out. It'd be great to hear from you and give you our take on the direction moving forward.
And I think also look to check in on any trends that we notice moving forward as well.